he's just like gritting his teeth right now. Anyway, yes, this is a poor man's love exposure. There I said it.
Oh,
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, like, it's not exactly the most
funny.
highbrow sort of comedy,
Oh.
but it knows it's not highbrow
I definitely
comedy.
wouldn't call
So
it
it's like
highbrow.
it's kind of like, as I explained it on the chat before, it's kind of like White Chicks,
Unfunny.
or maybe like the Wayne Brothers sort of comedy. Oh, I mean, if you depends how funny do you find White Chicks?
Not funny at all.
Okay, then that's fine. Then that's your
Pat
it's not
loves
your
it.
sort of horror. So, yeah, but unfortunately, I saw
That's a bit different.
In what
I
sense?
was just saying, White Chicks is a bit different for me, but I did find this funny.
Well, I mean, like Pat's Letterboxd review was really because like I was looking for it again on on Google, and I was like, oh, it's got a Letterboxd score of like 3 point something, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, it's Pat. Pat's the first person. And I was like, oh, he really didn't like it because he got trouble with like the language barrier, and he's like, some of the jokes didn't translate well, and it's like, oh, okay.
There was no language barrier on that nipple joke. I thought that was brilliant.
I thought you meant White Chicks.
Oh no!
The language barrier.
White Chicks had a language barrier for me. I had no idea what was going on in White Chicks.
Oh yeah, Simon. When you was like, oh yeah, the subtitles aren't bad, I was just like, what are these subtitles?
And
like, they're not the worst, to be honest.
I was sat there like someone. I was sat there thinking someone like Simon has written these subtitles because it kept saying things like bloke, which you don't normally see in subtitles on Hong Kong.
I did think that was really funny when he was just kind of like, hey, don't go taking me for some rich bloke. I haven't got a penny to my name. And I was like, hey, where are we?
I mean, it was like the best attempt at subtitles, which I think is not too bad considering that it's either that you watch it free on YouTube that has no subtitles. So it's like
it does have subtitles on YouTube. You just have to turn them on.
Subtitles on YouTube. There is.
Yeah. You just have to turn them on.
Did everyone just watch it on YouTube?
No, I watched it on Apple TV, and then I found out it was on YouTube after my second watch.
I thought
Apple TV
Spanish subtitles.
What did you say, Emmanuel? Sorry?
I thought YouTube had Spanish subtitles. And not
there's one with Spanish subtitles, but there's one with English subtitles, but you have to go into the settings and turn them on.
And can I just say, I was so willing to look up the Spanish dictionary and have that on the side while I watched this fucking thing, just so I didn't have to do any Apple TV.
I would just been like, just send me the PDF for the script. That's so much easier.
I was about to make a joke about it saying bloke in Spanish, but I was like, I don't know enough Spanish to make this one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you said it like that, Ben, because like from what I remember, like what people told me about is like there isn't really a script because most of it's fucking improv. Because
you can tell that.
Yeah, because like
yeah, you can really tell that.
because all of these guys are like Hong Kong based stand-up comedians or like comedy script writer guys. So they're like, well, they gave us a budget. I guess we could just blow through the budget any way we like, right? It's like, yeah, pretty much. Okay, we'll just do drugs and sex jokes. I'll be done. Yeah, I'll be done. And I'll be like, yeah, okay, that's what they did. It's very crude, right? There's no like going about it. It's like it's very crude humor, but crude humor it works. It's funny enough. Oh, okay. Don't give me that shit. It was funny enough. It was funny enough.
I don't even want to give it that.
I was having a great time for the first like half an hour. Like that bit where, so I was sitting on my bed and I was eating strawberries and I was drinking Huel and I was just like innocently watching this film, and the bit where they're in the shop and he talks about that video camera that has like X-ray vision, and he records his nipple and he's like, it's really dark in there, so it really caught me off guard. And I was choking for a good like 10 minutes after.
It has its moments. It does have its moments.
You know, we bonded over having similar senses of humour. It's veered off. Let's
Oh
say
no,
that.
it was really funny. It was the line after. It's really dark in there, so it really got me.
I just watched it and I was like, don't know what he's got from that. But
I find it interesting how for you it got less funnier or less enjoyable, and it was the opposite for me. It started off not too enjoyable and got more enjoyable. Like as it got deeper into the jokes and stuff, it got more enjoyable for me.
I can see how that would happen, to be fair. I think as it went on, I was appreciating it more on one level, but I don't know, I just really liked how chaotic the opening was. It's just like
Yeah.
because I was just sat there like I have no idea what's going on, but it's kind of funny.
It's
But
a
like,
weird- oh, carry on.
well, I was just gonna say, like, as it went on and like everything was starting to, I'm not gonna say like thread together because, like I say, you can very much tell it was improvised. Yeah, like once things started coming together a bit, I was kind of going like, oh, this is kind of nice, like on a sort of like a silly level. Like I think if you, 'cause it is what it is, isn't it? Like I mean, if it's just a bunch of stand-up comedians, then the story is probably quite a good vehicle for that. And yeah, like as it was going on, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. But yeah, it was how chaotic the opening was. It just never lived up to it for me.
Uh, One thing going back to the subtitles thing, there were moments where I was just like, wait, they're not even getting some of the basic Japanese stuff right. and I was noticing like how, because I swear there's some of the jokes I think I might actually like know the original, like what they meant to translate it as, since I might have translated it myself in some manhwa like years ago.
Oh, really?
But I'm just like that's not what that saying is meant to say. That's not quite what did they that's kind of weird. And I'm just like, wait, how many times is this happening and I'm not realizing that this is
Well, which part are you referencing? I'm confused.
I
What,
can't
what
I can't remember, but you know how in oh, Camilla was saying something. Oh, sorry, yeah, she was talking about the Japanese part. Yeah, there were a few parts in there that was like, but in terms of the Chinese parts, I can't remember specifically, but of course, Simon, you know how there's a lot of Chinese kind of sayings and parables and whatnot
uh-huh.
that are just like, I guess, basic knowledge, and a lot of people know them, and it's that it's those kind of things and those kind of sayings and those kind of localizations, of course they're not the easiest to translate, but then there's
I,
just some that were
uh,
just like, huh, how did they do that? Does that make sense?
I mean, I kind of understand what you're trying to say, but it's like I need you could give me like a scene because I'm trying to think about which particular point is because like if it's like the Japanese, it's all kind of bad Japanese anyway because you're talking about you're talking about the porn star and it's like and we'll just talk about the next scene. Yeah, no, just lie on the bed. Yeah. I just want to talk about the next. Yeah. I mean, that's like, oh yeah, that's crude humor. But it's like if you're talking about like, are you talking about the scene with like the mother-in-law where they're having hot pot? Because like I'm trying to think about like because
Oh my god,
I
that
did
scene
not
was
I
cracking
did
me
not
up.
hear mother and I heard muffin law. And I was like, the muffin? Do you know the muffin law?
the mother-in-law.
Sorry,
Okay.
carry on, Simon, you were saying.
No, it's because like there's like because like she speaks Mandarin Chinese instead of Cantonese Chinese, and it's like, all right, yeah, the translations are kind of like iffy, anyways. Heck, but her Mandarin is fucking iffy as well. So it's just like,
Man.
yeah. So it's like,
Oh man,
but it plays onto the joke of like, all right, yeah, this is just kind of like a super rough script where everyone just went,
Yeah,
okay, let's all jump in on the joke, see how far we can take it, and we'll see how it plays. That's
I can't.
that's how it is.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I'm sorry, but it's not something that was I might have said it in a way, but it's not something I really cared about that much. It was more of a huh, but who cares? It's funny. It's still funny. I still get the joke. It just is it. I guess the rough translations kind of just match the roughness of the film, so it's all right.
Rough is definitely the word.
I think that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, it's a bit like I think The Quiet Family was a better film, but I think I enjoyed it on a similar level where I was like, you know, like these are people who don't know entirely what they're doing yet, and I really like that they've made it.
I mean, actually, fair play to this one. Apart next to Quiet Family, I did stay awake through this one.
They're great moments. I'm just like, I don't know. It did make me laugh. Just sorry, Simon. Why did you pick the film?
Well, I mean, because like
Why
because I
did
kind
you
of
do this to us?
because I kind of knew these like stand-up comedians beforehand. Like they used to make also like B-movie sort of like comedy films anyways. The heck, they literally have a B-movie film that's made by the co-director of this film, which is, you know, the guy in the store that says, huh, it looks dark in there. He's the co-director of another film. It's called AV. His movie is called Adult Videos. This is AV, and this is like you made a comedy about Paul. Okay, yeah, it tracks. It tracks. It's just these guys are like, we made money from the last movie. Just make more stupid movies. Yeah, sure, why not? It's like, oh, might as well. But that's kind of like, and also because this was a testing grounds for me to see how you would like this sort of comedy. I can tell not everyone likes this sort of comedy. So all that means is I'm gonna pick movies that are this sort of comedy more. So that's just great for me.
Oh no.
No, pick funny ones.
I'm gonna pick White Chicks next.
No. That's
Okay.
one I really don't want to watch.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. But like, I see what the sort of comedy that you guys go for. This is not it, and that's like, oh, that's fine. I can't. This was like, as Alex said last time on the chat, is like, you better pick a shit movie. I was like, it might be shit. So I was like, oh no, you might find it funny, you might find it shit. I didn't care. So it's
you
like,
fucking delivered.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. It was like, it was.
There's no in between. It good.
Yeah.
It suck.
Where did you get a fucking watermelon?
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Oh,
The watermelon place.
Do you know the Watermelon Man?
The watermelon man.
I don't. Does he live at your place?
Well, unfortunately not.
Sorry, what?
Blue blue.
He said, unfortunately not.
Okay.
I was surprised I understood that.
me too.
I also wanted to ask, just because I was curious, because I was also kind of lazy, but also you'd be better to ask. How do you say the original title of this film?
Oh right. I say my Hong Yan. I think they say it in the movie as well. It's when he's talking to the really rich, snotty woman when he's like in the changing room, and it's like, no. It's you're I'm like a hired assassin. You know, just if you need like me to like hired killer. Essentially, it's like the pun on the name.
Yeah.
But it's like it does. I mean, like that's. I mean, like if you just translate, it's just like hired killers or hired, like, I don't know. It'd be like lady killers, but that doesn't really like translate
Lady
well.
killers? He's stepping on your toes, Ben.
Yeah, but it's like. but the language, the words wouldn't translate properly. So it's like someone like when they were like localizing the film, but like, I mean, he just makes films about shooting people. So you shoot, I shoot. Yeah, you shoot, I shoot. Yeah, it's great.
I do think that's a brilliant title, to be fair.
It is. I think it's one of the best localized titles I've come across, to be honest. You can get some really bad ones.
Well, I mean, well, Emmanuel, you and I read manga, and we read like,
Yes.
well, I mean, we read reincarnated as like a vending machine or some bullshit, right? So it's like, oh no, some of these titles are just weird, anyways.
Oh, but that's different when the original title was weird. And the English ones, of course, going to sound pretty much similar. But I mean, you have some where you have a title that doesn't translate well, like this one. So you have to pick a localized one. But it's not the easiest, and a lot of people get it wrong. But
That's true.
I feel like they got this one really right. So yeah. So I'm just happy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do we want to do opening statements, or is it all pretty self-explanatory at the minute?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Do y'all want to?
I mean, you can just lay into the film. I don't actually care if you hate this film, because this
That's
is
good.
like one of my.
Yeah.
This is one of my maybe B choice movies, and it was like, oh yeah, cool. I've actually, I don't
I feel
know
like
who's
the,
actually seen my script, or what was it?
I was just going to say, I feel like the opening statements are just going to be like that scene in Office Space where they're like beating down a photocopier.
Yeah, pretty much right. Yeah.
I do want to say though, like people at work at like always ask me like every week. They're like, "Oh, what's the film this time?" And I'm like, "Oh, this one's called You Shoot, I Shoot." And they're like, and the amount of times that I went, it's basically about an assassin who gets hired to film like while he kills someone, but he realizes he can't do it by himself, so he hires a porn director to help him out. And everyone goes, "Ooh, okay, that sounds fun." And I was like, "That's as much fun as you're gonna have with this." Like, the premise is a lot funnier than it sounds.
Oh man.
I mean, yes, you're not wrong. Yeah, the premise is quite hilarious. I feel like if you was to make like if this was done in like with, let's say, Western like influences via Hollywood, right? It's just a question of like, who do you think would be the assassin, and who do you think would be the who would play who? Who would play Bart? Who would play the main character, and who would play the who would play like the porn co-director? It's just like, could it be like, I don't know, who did oh damn it, who did Brothers? Like the Step Brothers film. Who was the name of the?
Will
Jake
Ferrell,
Gyllenhaal.
the guy.
I feel like Will Ferrell could play like Bart or something stupid. Like it would be a really sort of like mid-level like comedic film. So it's just like just think about who could be like who is the most mid-level like comedian. Will Ferrell.
Adam Sandler.
Right. Oh yeah, it could be an Adam Sandler film. It could work.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd want to
This
cast
is-
the director.
No, so this has got Adam Sandler all over it. It's not funny. There's no
Oh.
talent involved.
No,
Easy.
I think I'd cast the director as Matthew Broderick. I think that'd be nice.
I'm trying to think who I would want. I wouldn't want either Will Ferrell or like
John C. Reilly.
I feel like I need to have someone else who's got that stand-up energy similar, but also I don't know, it's a bit rough around the edges. I don't know how to explain it.
I think even I don't know. I feel like if you showed like an actor this, and you'd be like, okay, you're an assassin, and you wear a fedora and knee-length tan like trench coat, and that's your costume. It's just like,
Oh, actually, this
that's really fucking lame.
Oh wait, say that again.
No, just show them the costume. They gotta walk around and just like you have leather gloves and a big trench coat and a fedora, and it's just like, yeah, you're the assassin. And I'm just like, God, it just looks really fucking lame to me.
Well, I mean, that's because it was based that joke was based off like the old like noir sort of like detective noir movies, isn't it? That's kind of like the joke. He has because
Yeah.
he gets high. He gets high during like one of the later scenes, and he has like that illusionary like conversation with someone in, I would like to say French, but I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
It just looks really amateur.
That's the point. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to tell you.
I
It's kind of
remember his
I'm
name.
still-
Hey,
Mm.
Pat.
Hey, man.
Is it
Hey, dude.
Dolan, the French one?
It might be. I cannot remember on the top of my head at all. Because like I thought about it now, and I was thinking, we need like actually someone like kind of funny, but kind of like a sort of kind of tough guy. So I was thinking, oh wait, who's the guy? Who's the guy who did Black Knight? Martin Lawrence. And I was like, oh yeah, that could work. Like he could be Bart, but we need like a really sort of like skinny, like maybe white dude. And I was like, oh wait, who does what's his name? Who's the guy with the frilly head? That's Juno. The guy, that white guy.
Michael
Who is his
Cera?
name?
Oh,
Michael Cera. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
that could work.
I see that. Yeah.
Yes, I was like, all right, yeah, that works. Yeah, okay, Hollywood, make this movie not as funny. I mean, it'll be about the same, to be honest.
You could quite happily do an Irish version with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell.
oh, but
That's
would be something. I guess. Even though he doesn't necessarily suit the film, I was just laughing and imagining him as Bart or someone in the film. I was just imagining Paul Rudd in it somehow, and I was just laughing about him in this film. I'll just be like, "Why are you in this film?" And I'm just imagining, well, some funny, and I kind of liked parts of the script that were there.
I mean, I'd respect anyone's balls for going to an actual actor with this script and expecting them to, like, I don't know, not laugh in your face.
I would really like to see the screenplay like that does exist. I mean, I imagine it's very bare bones. It'd be really interesting to see like how much was thought of beforehand.
Oh yeah, Simon, were you going to talk about some kind of script or screenplay or something at one point? Then got cut off.
No, man. As I said, it was all. I mean, there was like a basic like scripting for it, but it's like so basic that it's pretty much non-existent. So it's kind of like, yeah, just like we have the scene where we have to kill him, but we have to make it. We have to add this actor later. So how do we just add him in organically? I don't know. I just say he instead of getting paid in money, he gets paid in drugs. Yeah, sure, why not? And it's like, okay, write that down. After it's just like,
Yeah,
it's just like each scene is like some scenes like can't repeat at the end, or there's like a little like lag. Again, that's on purpose because it's all recorded at the same time, and someone edits it all together to be like, yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. Just because he's stuttering along, it's fine. It's fine.
Simon, in terms of like stature, who are these comedians like the equivalent of in Hong Kong?
That is a good question.
There are no equivalents.
Because like you gotta think,
Keith Lemon.
He's actually reasonably funny though.
Oh, you
let's be-
old person.
But
Because,
to be sorry to jump in. Like to be fair to Keith Lemon, I actually he speaks the same language that I do, so I can sort of understand it. Where my big problem with a film like this is if you don't know the language and most of the things that you find funny is dialogue based, then you're sort of lost.
Mm.
And that's the problem I had with this film.
Oh yeah,
I mean-
I've seen your letterbox review. You didn't like this one at all.
I can't remember reviewing it, but
there is
I don't remember that much.
There is that bit with the rich lady when she nicks that lady's dress that she's trying on. She goes, "Hey, that's my dress," and she goes, "Hey, bitch, you want to get raped?" And then she looks at the hitman and goes, "Do you do rape?" And he goes, "No." And she's like, "Oh, well, you get paid more if you did." I was rolling. I was rolling and rolling. I thought this is great. This is hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, I don't rape, gang bangs, anal sex, something else.
Really, really
It just-
funny stuff.
That line though, it just reminded me of, and I don't know if they might have just come out with this from nowhere, but it kind of reminds me of the escort industry. Like I feel like you would get people that would say that to escorts. It'd be like, oh, you don't do that. Oh, you would make more money if you did. No, you're really restricted yourself. It's like, I don't care.
I mean, they get that comparison later when he finally kills the other guy, and they're playing mahjong, and they're like, "Oh, look, we've got like, you know, some spare ribs, so we've got some fatty pork. Who would you like to have first?" So it's like, yeah, they're treating them like, you know, meat. It's kind of like, yeah, again, it plays on the joke because it's very crude humor, and they're all really terrible people. So that's kind of like that's kind of the point. I feel like I can't explain enough that the point of this film that it's a bad film. It's not supposed to be bad, but because it's kind of bad, I kind of find it funny as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, man. There's something sweet about how bad it is.
Even like stuff that I feel like is basic, like, you know, when you're kind of doing like a little bit of a montage, and like you kind of chopping the humor up. Or they have an exchange on the phone, and then they have a different exchange on the phone, and even stuff like that. I was like, this is easy, but you kind of still not. It's still not funny because you're doing. It's going on for like way too long, but the cuts are really, really, really short.
okay,
Yeah,
I'll give you
because,
I'll
like,
give you that. I'll give you that. 100% give you that, because like they do. It's kind of like they have an idea for a skit bit, but they then like cut it very weirdly, and it's like that joke went on for just about like 10 seconds too long, and it's like it was like it's not as it could have been funnier, but it's like,
it went like 10 seconds too long, but there were about like 30 cuts that all kind of do the punchline and stop. Whereas like you kind of want a punchline to kind of breathe a little bit, so you have a chance to process it. But by the time you've processed it, they're already doing the next, well, the second joke after that, and I was just like, what the? Okay. I just found it really frustrating.
would it be better to say that would it have been funny if there was like a laugh track into like the movie? Because I feel like
No.
it adds no. Okay, never mind.
No.
I won't continue that line of thought then.
No, I do agree. Like the editing was a real problem because I think there was a lot of it where. So at the time, I was thinking, oh, they're trying to do like a stylistic thing that Space does, where like you have like the shaky cam, and like a lot of it's almost like it's not exactly point of view, but it's like it's that kind of thing where it's like the camera is almost like supposed to be you in the room because it's sort of like handheld and it's like it's a bit jittery and yeah, all of that kind of stuff. And then I realized this came out before Space, so it couldn't have been trying to do what Space did. But then I was confused about what it was trying to do because I couldn't decide whether it was like I couldn't decide whether it was a choice to do that kind of thing or is it just that the editing was like really chaotic for some reason. And yeah, it was a bit jarring.
Yeah, no, definitely second answer. Definitely, because the entity was chaotic.
I think you don't want to leave like too long after you've done a punchline, because then people are going to be aware that you're like, oh, you wait for me to laugh. Well,
Yeah.
don't do that. Whereas if you do it too short, then you run into that jarring feeling. And it's like there's like a little sweet spot you gotta hit with your editing, and they like completely missed most times.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about something, Simon. There other the other kind of material or stand up or other B movies. Are they very similar in how they kind of deliver jokes and kind of edit things?
for some of the comedians, yes, because if I remember correctly, the guy who plays Bart, there used to be like, let's say, understudy for like Stephen Chow, and like you can feel like the sort of
I can see that.
yeah, you can see the sort of comedy stylings of Stephen Chow with his sort of acting, and the guys he's done movies with Stephen Chow all the time. So it's like, all right, yeah, but these are like old, way older movies. Because this was made in 2000. Stephen Chow movies are like 1970s, right? And so it's a lot of like 70s humor, and like that. I mean, like 70s humor don't really translate well into nowadays humor as well. So it's just like, oh, that's a bit Blazing Saddles level comedy. That's not good at all. So it's like, that's okay. But it's like, the point is, you can feel that the sort of like comedy stylings of them, and it's like it's like, it's funny during that time. It may not translate be funny nowadays. So again, that's a problem with that. And also, I feel like for the other comedians that were there, funny enough, I feel like this was actually some of their more like this was one of the films that gave them like a decent paycheck, and they made other comedy films, because like who was the guy like, I can't remember the guy who was right at the end, that was like the mafia boss with the two guns. He died, but
Yeah.
he came back alive as like the movie extra.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Yeah, he's in the film Ip Man with like Donnie Yen. He's the always one. Yeah, he's in Ip Man. He's like, oh yeah, that's absolutely that guy. And it's like, it's like they got the paycheck to do more other stuff. They could have done more funny stuff, and they could have done more serious. But it's like, this helped. This was one of the films that gave them like a little, let's say, boost in their career.
Him playing that actor was actually the only time that I laughed. Like in the whole film. When he's like, when he's miming being shot, and then he's like, how would you act if you got shot by a missile? That was the only bit where I actually laughed out loud. I went, nah, fair enough, you can have that one.
Oh man. Like, okay,
but that was because he's again, that was all improv. That's that whole last scene is just like them not just going, we've got the set for like a couple of hours, just do what we need to do for the script. I like we could like add bits here and there. That's be fine, just about. So
I feel like something I would do. I could just imagine me being it's like, oh, Alec got shot by a missile. I'm like, ah! It was just really funny. I don't know. I think as the film got into it, I don't think I noticed too much of the editing as much, or I don't really barely remember it. It kind of, to me, I don't know if I got absorbed in it. It just kind of worked for me, and I was just going along with it, and I was just like, man, this level of craziness, like, it keeps sustaining, and it's just madness. And then you have the parents, and it's so great when the guy's just like, I think your dad, I don't know if it's the best translation of it, but he's like, your father-in-law, it might actually be like the most, like, it might actually be kind of normal in the context of the situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then he comes in, and it's just like, like, when you gonna kill her? It was just like, and you see the reaction of the camera guy, like, what is this? Like, why are you asking him to kill your wife?
I can get it.
His wife's mother. What is this? He's just like, yeah, I take this back. He's nowhere near normal. It's, I don't know. That just cracked me up. It's just lots of, or, I'm just gonna say it now. Like, I don't want to do favorite scenes because it's too early. But it's I'll do it later. But
there'll be so many.
There's a lot of stuff I think I like, but I think that parent scene, and now that I know she's speaking Mandarin, it probably makes even more sense to just feed into some of the jokes. But it's just that family scene is just it's great. But I'll talk about that later.
I think we should hear from Pat and Ben.
Yes.
Go on, Ben. You look tired.
This film made me tired.
Oh, that hurts. Don't say it like that.
Blammo!
It definitely didn't feel as long as the previous film.
That's because it was.
Oh yeah.
What was the previous film we just watched?
That was
It's
your
not
The one
film.
about the dog murdering.
Oh yeah.
The 2.5 hour.
No, it's not. It's no Drive My Car. It's not as good as that.
That was long and hard.
That's
Anyway,
what she said. Yeah, I just didn't really connect with this film. I mean, maybe similar to Alec and a bit of Pat as well. It's just like one, I didn't find it that funny, and maybe the humor didn't went over my head because of the subtitles and because of the language difference and the culture difference and stuff like that. And I'm not used to that style. I'm not like most of the Hong Kong films I've seen that aren't like Jackie Chan movies are very, very like serious and very like different to this. So this is kind of like, as Rob mentioned, it's very like a Channel 4 sort of like docudrama kind of weird sitcom comedy. It's a weird thing. I can't really think on what kind of thing it is, but it's not nothing usual. But, so I suppose that's the strength to it. It's very unique in that regard. But yeah, there wasn't much I enjoyed about it because I couldn't really get behind the characters. I didn't really like any of them, and I didn't really have like a connection towards what they were going for, and I didn't connect to what this is like. They're not like going through something they need to kind of make amends with, or I think if it did, it went over my head a bit. So I think it just lacked that little extra thing that would make it more a me film. It just needs like these characters doing stupid stuff, but there has to be a reason for it, other than whether it's a silly reason or if it's something like a bit more of a heartfelt kind of like emotional reason. It didn't really have that either. So I just it's like, oh, it's just these idiots. They're trying to do this and that, and they're doing it in a way that just doesn't inspire or make me laugh. But I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe if I did know the language very well and I didn't need to use subtitles, and I can get the visual gags a lot better, because when you're darting back and forth, you miss a lot of any visual stuff, and any of the dialogue, whether it's the translation of certain words, might have been not as, it's like, it's because if it's so literal, some sort of slang words won't work as they would in the native language too. So I feel I need to learn the language, like Chinese, Tibet, whatever it is, and just figure it out. And then I might be able to be a bit more like, yeah, I get it. But so I can see why Simon loves it, because it's just something he's grew up with and he's used to. And it's just like, this is just like something I'd see on TV or something. And it's just realistic and authentic in regards. But yeah, that's the reason. I don't hate it. I just didn't like it.
Oh wait, quick question before you end that.
Yeah.
Ben, what sort of like other movies have you watched from Hong Kong that aren't Jackie Chan movies? I'm actually quite curious as well.
I probably don't know really. I think there's only the Jackie Chan movies I can think of, unless it's something really old school, like
Wasn't that Chinese Odyssey one? Wasn't that?
Yeah,
Hong Kong
apart
as
from the
well?
ones that Simon's picked, yeah.
Ben, did you not see the original Departed?
Or was that Hong Kong? Oh, but I haven't actually seen the original yet. So I'm waiting for someone to pick that one.
Pat, you and I will have a conversation about that later, right? Okay. But in anyways, Pat, what did you think about this film?
So I was just laying there watching it, and I was just like, am I supposed to laugh at this? Basically, because I couldn't get the tone, and like there's only so much you can get through seeing subtitles. I mean, you see how often like some of us argue based on text messages or messages in a chat. Like you don't really get the proper meaning of what they're trying to say through that, and I think that's the problem with sort of watching films of a different language to what you know. Like unless you like know the language or you've watched like a ton of these films, like I'd imagine Emmanuel and Rob have, then I find it difficult to sort of engage with it. It's like the what was that film, The Family? Like some of you found The Quiet Family, which some of you found hilarious, but I was like, I really don't get this. And by no means is it a bad film, because there was a couple of scenes in it that made me laugh, especially at the end. But like that end sequence gave me a belly laugh. But I think that was more the physical humor,
Yeah.
which for me is universal. Like if I'm watching like a slapstick film, it doesn't really matter what language it's in. But if you're talking about just general dialogue based comedies, I really struggle with ones that aren't in English, and that's more a me problem than the film's problem. And I know it was supposed to be a bad film, but it felt like it dragged on just because I couldn't really engage with it. But I gave it a 5 for enjoyment, purely for the end. If more of the film was like that, I think I probably would have had a better time with it.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, because, like, I don't know, because would the Three Stooges be funny if it was in French? It probably would be. You know, I just don't know what Curly would sound like. You'll be like, "A wise guy, huh?" But what would that sound like in French? I guess you'll be like, "The wise guy, huh?" I don't know. It might be a translation problem. It might be like the physical comedy part. But did you? I'm guessing you and Alec both liked the like improv guy right at the end, then yeah, with him getting shot in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay. Yeah.
initially.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't like the Three Stooges either.
I've not seen the Three Stooges either.
That's not. I don't think I'll ever choose that as a film. I don't know, because like it's not like exactly the best comedy, and I guess doesn't translate well nowadays. Oh wait, there is like a Bollywood film called like Three Idiots, so that might work as well. So we can choose another like foreign language film.
Just conscious Emmanuel's had his hand up for a little bit. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I wanted to like come in after Ben and Pat. I keep almost mixing people's names up. I almost said Ben and Rob. I'm sorry, Pat.
Rob wishes he was me.
Oh man. But what was I say? I didn't realize while watching it until like obviously I'm on a call with you guys, and I'm guessing the reason why, I don't know, maybe me, Rob, Simon found it funny, but I'll just talk about myself. Maybe there was a lot of cultural kind of context stuff in the background, and regardless of the dialogue, maybe the reason why this kind of stuff I found it funny was because there's a lot of things that were a play off of how some people can really be. It's kind of like how obviously any kind of comedian refers to their real life or the situation around them, or any kind of comedians we watch. And a lot of the time we find it funny because we can relate to part of what they're joking about. Or it's just like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And because you've said it in that way, you've twisted it in that way, that's actually pretty funny. And I wonder if this is one of those things where it's very culturally and context heavy, that because even without knowing the language super well, I know I'm missing some of the puns, just like you would have in a Japanese film or any kind of comedy thing they do. You have like dialogue comedy, but you also have situational context and kind of slapstick humor. And I wonder if it's because all the kind of, I guess, the Chinese manhwa comics and different films and whatnot I've kind of consumed. I feel like I get a lot of it, and I'm not realizing that that's the reason I'm probably getting it. I'm just like, oh, that's funny, yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And like even the way, again, going back to the kind of parent-in-law scene, and there's just a lot of kind of, I don't know, play on different stereotypes in the film and like way they kind of change things and flip it on its head. And it's just really funny. But yeah, maybe that's part of why I find it funny. And I kind of like get absorbed in it the more it kind of goes along.
Well, see, you say that, but there is stuff as well, like when someone's trying to get like a director on side, and then they have like this. I can't remember the context, but they get like this really hunky actor to come in, and then he sees the director and he starts getting a nosebleed. I knew what that was, but even that went on too long because like I just kept looking at him because he was the only thing moving in the frame. But like the director kept going like, and I just kept looking at the actor, and he just keeps wiping his nose and wiping his nose and wiping his nose and I was like, fucking, I get it.
Oh, I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, that was
the initial shock. I went, oh yeah, and then it just kept going, and I was like, yeah, the sensibilities of Stephen Chow. Yeah, no, I get it. It goes on too fucking long.
But not even just that, because that's a classic joke to this day. And so much kind of like, oh, it's a pervert's really turned on, instant nosebleed. It's just a joke, obviously, that's run so many times. And I get why you'd be like, oh, it's too long. But it made me laugh. And I thought it was brilliant.
I can see the sort of the people have the same sort of crude humor and comedy starting that I enjoy as well. So thank you for that, Joe. You validated my thinking, so that's fine. So I guess, but it's also, I guess it's kind of like, I think again it's the same sort of like, my mother-in-law is horrible, sort of like comedy styling of like that stuff used to be very popular in, let's say, what was it again? It was in like not Disney cartoons, I think. Oh my god, it's my mother-in-law. Oh my god, I feel like if you was to play that joke nowadays, would it still be funny if like someone's made like, oh god, my mother-in-law is visiting? Would it be that funny? It could be funny, but it's like one of those jokes like you could say you could make in the part of a movie nowadays, but would people just go, yeah, or would they actually make it, or would they actually be like, laugh about it?
You're jogging a memory, and I'm thinking of something, and they're trying to blackmail. There's someone trying to blackmail like a contest judge or something, and he's like, if you don't give me what I want, then we're gonna vaporize your mother. And he has like a photo up, and then the guy goes like, do your worst. That's my mother-in-law. And I thought that was hilarious.
Oh man!
Like you can do it.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, you can do it. And like even you said, you had like a small like chuckle off the nosebleed. You're like, but like afterwards, if you play it for too long, again, it becomes a bit like, okay, you're what's the phrase that people say? Oh yeah, all right, yeah, the horses are already dead. Stop eating it, please. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. So I guess it's a point of like I guess a lot of comedy is, as they say, what is it, timing. So if the timing is a bit off, or if like the reactions aren't what you want, it's like it's not funny. It's just a bit awkward now.
What were you gonna say, Rob? I think you were saying something like just a minute ago.
No, I don't think so. Was it me?
You are
Um,
mixing people up.
no, you was actually it's okay, but you were actually saying something. But I think a lot of us were talking at the same time.
I don't know. It's completely gone out of my head.
We were talking about the parent-in-law dinner a lot with the stepmom.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Even that, there's so many bits where I kind of, I don't know, not so many bits, but there were a couple of bits where my brain would kind of go, that's amusing, I suppose. Like when she thinks her shoe is a phone, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, remember they're high off their fucking minds, right? So because like they've been eating like pure like Colombian weed or something that he put into the soup. So it's just like I don't know. It's just like I can't imagine anyone functioning really normally after like ingesting like how much drugs. So it's like yeah.
That was great.
That was
That's what I mean.
Pot scene.
That was something where like so when I was doing the thumbnail for this week, I was looking at the logo and like you've got like the little symbols underneath it. So it looks like sort of like a hazard sign, and then you've got like little symbols for like a gun and like all of the stuff that you would expect in the film from like the premise of it. And I was wondering what the leaf was for, and I was like, I don't get it. And then that scene happened, and I was like, oh right.
I get it now. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What did you say?
Oh no, I kind of was in mid thought and then I forgot what I was thinking.
Excellent. Yeah. I think a lot of the any praise I can give it is like really, really, really surface level. And I think actually it was the opening credits was where I was like, fucking hell. That's when I was like, Simon, what have you done? Why is this? Why am I watching this really cheap ass looking clip art animated crap?
What are you talking about? It's a diagram of how to pull someone's nose down with 2 fingers. It's kind of the point of it. It's very stupid, crude humor. Yeah,
it was the bloke falling out of the thing, and he's like a 2D cartoon man. He's going, and I was just, God. I know it's supposed to look but shit, but like you really did it well.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about certain things, but this more goes back to like the filming stuff and being on set and how he was just like, camera ready. And he's saying that he does sound like another comedian when he says that. I'll figure out their name in a minute. But I was just like, and then he's just like, shoot it or shoot kind of thing. And then he shoots. He's just like, no, I meant this. And I'm just thinking about how it is on actual sets and whatnot and how they are or like what they'll say. I'm like, I get it. But dude, you're a fool. This guy doesn't work on sets. Like, how is he gonna know that? He's just gonna shoot. You're such a fool.
That should be the slogan for this. Just get it.
Well, I mean, he didn't expect him, to murder someone in front of him. That's why he says, "All right, we've got to do the shot again." We can't do the shot again. What do you mean we can't do the shot again? Tell him, just let him wake up. He's dead. What do you mean? He's dead? What? Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. But he was still very dedicated to filming because he lingered on the shot extra a bit, even as he was running away. Oh no! Oh no! We gotta get out of here! And he's still recording the camera. I was like, okay, now we gotta get out of here. I was just like, yeah, that's dedication to your craft. That's important.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the guy. For some reason, he reminded me of in that moment.
Ben, you know when the Asian ladies watch the first film and they go, "Oh my god, it's better than Scorsese." Did your soul die a bit?
Yeah, kind of.
Pronounce it as well.
Wait, what?
When all the Asian, sorry, I don't know why I specified Asian. When all the ladies are watching the first film and they go, "Oh my god, it's better than Scorsese." I just wondered if Ben's soul died.
Sorry, I get what you're saying. That is funny.
I feel like us laughing is like making it worse for Ben. It's like I feel like I can see Ben's soul leaving his body right now. I feel like it makes. I think that makes it even funnier than it is. Just seeing
All the
your
Marvel
reaction to
fans
it.
would have loved that line.
Oh yeah, they would. Yeah, fuck Scorsese.
Oh yeah, yeah. Figure that. Yeah, like you said, that makes it even funnier. Sorry, but
That's right.
it's great. The comedian it reminded me a tiny bit of in that moment for various reasons was I don't know if anyone knows him or watches him. Is Stephen Hay?
Oh, I know the guy. Didn't he have a
Yeah.
Netflix special recently?
Possibly. I think he's one. He's kind of like with. He's quite known with quite a few other Chinese comedians as well, like internationally. So I think he probably did. He's the guy who does like he'll bring it to a skit Beijing coin every once in a while. And he does like lots of food ones as well. But anyway, for some reason he kind of slightly reminded me of some of his stuff. I don't know if you've seen him, Simon.
I mean, I can't picture his face because you just have to like show me.
Yeah, I'll send you some. I'll send you some stuff. Anyway, carry on.
I did feel it when the editor guy, he's putting together the first one, and Bart keeps going, "Are you done yet?" And he's like, "I just got you in." It's another sequence that again goes on for far too fucking long. But
was great.
I was like, that day is what it was like. But to be completely fair, yeah, you have always got the ending to do. That absolutely is.
It's not done yet. Not done yet. And then it's finally done. He's just like, man, get up. And he's out pretty much. And then eventually, it just makes me laugh. He's like, oh yeah. He gets upset. And before he said it, I was saying just as he was saying, put your pants on. And he was saying it at the same time. And I was just like, that's great. Like with they're improvising, they're thinking the same thing you're thinking. It's just, I don't know. In that moment, I was just like, this is great.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yes, I have to send. Actually, I might have sent this to you, Simon. I'll send it in the chat. But how Asians pack lunch.
Wait, what? That sounded really offensive right there. What did you just say?
He does a lot of stuff on like certain stereotypes, including parent stereotypes, like how parents brag about the children. But yeah, how Asians pack lunch. I mean, to be honest, this is how I would do lunch a lot of times when I was working at Odeon, and to this day. So I'm sure this applies to a lot of people, but it's you can go to his other stuff from there, but I just find it funny, or find him funny anyway. Oh man, sorry, I'm just laughing remembering it. Why is Rob's video featured when there's nothing on the screen? Or
It should
sound?
be. You should be able to see all of us at the same time.
Oh, maybe my thing is glitching out.
Your screen's just gone black.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, but it should be like a grid of like everyone rather than
Yeah.
just me.
oh, yeah. It's more that because sometimes I'll like go into picture-in-picture mode to like do something else. I'll then only see the featured person.
Oh,
like-
right.
Featured, but you weren't talking. It was just, but you also have no video, so I'm confused as to why your video was featured.
Who's just joined?
I did. Hi.
Oh.
Simon too.
Hi.
It's Simon too. Simon.
All
But
right.
is it?
To summon to Wong.
But Ben, is it the wrong Wong?
No, it's the
Oh.
right Wong this time.
Oh, wait, man. I must have lagged. You said you called me the white one. I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
Oh, that's actually
oh, the
oh,
white
it's on my shirt. Okay, yeah.
Oh man.
I guess so. Oh, that made me laugh the other day when Ben said that. I was just like, I saw someone like named Simon Wong at work. Like I just randomly came across his name. I was just like, I know this is not my Simon. And Ben was just like, yeah, he's the Wong man. I was just
My
like,
son.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. You could be my Simon. It's like, oh, that's way sweet. No one calls me my Simon.
Mm.
you're welcome.
So,
Ah.
I just finished coming out from the car from eating. Going out to eat dinner. So had to shave because I was told to. So I was like,
That's bloody ridiculous, Alex.
It's okay.
I feel like I would get actually ID'd if I was to go to a bar nowadays.
Well, you look lovely.
Thank you.
Camilla's pointing at me. She does always be like, yeah, it's too much of a baby face. You look weird. Don't shave it all off. Thank you. I mean, she's not the only one who said that to me, so. She said I look like a child.
Okay, I guess. What? No.
We're doing the comedic stylings of Stephen Chow. Just get on a bit.
Like a 14-year-old child. But anyway,
Oh my fucking god!
Fucking hell, Jesus. Okay.
maybe it doesn't-
Yes.
Oh,
I feel like we've pushed to the point of like we should just go favorite scenes.
yes, please. Favorite scene.
All right, you go first then.
Stop letting Emmanuel talk.
You go first then. What was your favorite scene, Alex, if you had any?
It was the actor. But it's so easy for this one because the actor just flipping about and being an idiot. I was like, yeah, that's amusing. There's been a startling lack of that for this. Yeah, I can't point to a single other joke. I'm like, what was? Well, the back alley when he undoes his fly, and then the other guy's like, "Oh, but my jaw hurts today." Okay, well, if you don't mind me biting, and then he's just like, "Get out of the way! I'm just gonna have a piss." And I was just like, "Jesus fucking Christ, this is not funny whatsoever." Whereas the actor guy, I was like, "No, this guy's having fun, and I enjoy watching him having fun. Let's go. Keep having fun, guy." So he was my highlight, despite the fact he's a fucking massive contrivance. But whatever.
I mean, that's the person he called is just a great casting manager. That's
Sorry, I'm laughing at what you're saying, but I'm also laughing at this video I'm gonna send you as well.
That's, that's
Yeah.
very sus. I don't believe the first bit.
Sorry, it's about how stereo- stereotype how parents brag about their kids. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Anyway, were you? Did I cut into what you were saying, Alex? Or were you done?
No, I'm definitely done. Those are
Okay.
all my favorite scenes. All one of them.
All right, I'll say my favorite scene. Um, it's basically the one where the mother-in-law. It's also quoted on IMDb just randomly. I don't know why, but anyway, it's like, yeah, blah blah blah. Son-in-law, it's a car salesman. Anything complained about public transport, and he just got her a Mercedes Benz. And I'm not saying he needs to get me a luxury car or anything. I'm just asking him to kill someone. You know, why is that it? I'm just like, it's just mental. It's just a point in the film. I'm just like, this is really set the tone of the film. Like and this is the thing as well. You get to the parent kind of in-law scene, and I thought, oh wait, do they know? Because I know like the wife and the husband are on that kind of crazy level, which is funny, and they have their own kind of vibe going on. But wait, are the parents more normal? Because the look that mother-in-law's given, and the way that dad is, and then they start saying some mess like this. They're just like, oh man, this is just mad. This is funny. This is great, and it just keeps escalating. I'm just like, oh, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's not much to ask. Why would you kill her? And the whole, because obviously it keeps playing on. It's just like, but it's like, it's not because the money, is just not because of that. Of course, look, why is he gonna want to just randomly go and kill someone with for no money? On top of, but I don't know, it's just all just, it's yeah, it's just all funny and much.
And I can see with Alex's face, this is the reason why I found it not funny. That's what he wants to say. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you had that look in your face. I mean, like, I found it funny. I mean, you guys did it. That's fine. It's like, because it's like, I mean, like, how much does a bullet cost? It doesn't cost as much as a Mercedes Benz. It's just like, yeah, it's the mother-in-law being annoying, sort of like joke. It's I can find it funny. It's just like not everyone's sort of humor, which is fine. Now let's go for someone who kind of likes it, but maybe not. How did you find it, Rob? Did you? I mean, I feel like you found it. You liked it a little bit more than the rest, and well, apart from myself in the manual.
I thought it was alright, man. Like, I mean, yeah, like it's yeah, like I was saying earlier, like it's very obvious that like they didn't know what they were doing, but I quite like that. I think yeah, I don't know. There's something sweet about it when you can tell that there's no sort of, I don't know. I'm trying to word it in a way that isn't too harsh, but like
there's no talent behind the cat. Yeah,
it's not even a talent thing. Like
there's no skill.
Like
yeah,
the room.
it's skill, but it's like it's in a way that's kind of
Proficiency. There's no proficiency behind the camera.
yeah. Like I don't take these as bad things though. I mean, if somebody's done and made a film without the means of making a film, I think that's really cool.
Actually, that is a question I have not checked before. What was the budget of this film? Because I cannot imagine it was high at all, even during that time.
Couldn't find it.
I'd like to know, actually. I would like to know.
If someone can tell me, that'd be very helpful.
Because I can only imagine that it was like pennies. It's
Tenner.
like 10, very much, right? Like, how much does it cost for a camcorder? Oh no, like
I reckon my chili dog today cost more.
how much? Oh yeah, that reminds me. How was the baseball?
It was good, except the stomach issues during the game.
what sort of hot dog do you have to make you have stomach issues that
Nah,
fast?
it's because I'm on the tablets at the minute, so it's sort of the
Ah.
tablets and the change of diet is sort of playing havoc. So even if I was to eat like a leaf of lettuce,
Oh, well.
it's probably just going to create a hurricane inside.
But that's
Ooh.
what you get for taking ecstasy.
Yeah, I know. My partying in my youth is catching up to me.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah,
we- have we-
that's why you have to just stick to licking stamps with LSD. That's the easiest thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get a right buzz from that.
Mm.
Let's do some Nos.
Someone watching this is like, "Oh, I don't know what fucking LSD he's had."
The type that you hang with dolphins. I don't know. It's like really, it's really crazy stuff.
I go onto the bus and pretend I'm Spider-Man.
Okay. In any case, let's see.
Have we located the budget?
Nah.
No,
I don't
no.
think so. Okay.
Usually it's on the movie database, but it's not for this one.
I mean,
Very well.
okay, you got to think of it like this. It was such a low budget, they couldn't quite remember how much they spent on it. It's like, did we spend $1 million in Hong Kong dollars? Maybe. I don't know. It's like, how much does that translate into pounds? Let's say it's a tenner. Yeah, sure, it's a tenner. Fuck it. Let's say the budget for the film was like 10 quid. It'll be easier to think that way. Yeah. So, anyways, Ben, before you fall asleep, did you have any favorite scenes?
It
Trying to think
sucked.
of it's what is I can't remember the names of people.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there was Bart
That's
and the
Alec.
other one.
Oh yeah, Bart was cool. There was
No.
one. Well, what was it? I can't remember the ladies. That it was in. Was it the bit in the spa where there was someone getting a massage, and then they just rock up, and then they just kind of like.
Oh, you mean okay. So it's one of her mahjong buddies that is a regular member, is a regular customer to Bart and his assassins and like video group.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like pitch a sale to her
Yeah.
because there was the other assassin group, and it's like, we've got like a discount like voucher code now.
Mhm.
Like the more like it's like a stamp card. Every time you kill someone, you get a stamp, and the more you stamp, the more of a discount you get. That's
Yeah,
what
that
that's okay. Yeah, that was like like in the context of the film, that's quite funny, right? But it's just like
Yeah, that was probably my most amusing scene because I just appreciated the humor in that more than any other part of the film. I think I don't know why.
But why was he in a bat leotard?
That's the question. Yeah, someone have to explain that.
Why would you what?
Why was the fat assassin, or fat assassin, if you will, why was the fat assassin wearing a Batman leotard?
I think it was supposed to be because there was the other camera guy who was supposed to be filming it, and he was supposed to be noticeable as like the main character, or he was supposed to play. I think it wasn't even supposed to be a Batman; it was supposed to be a devil. So it was like devil's advocate of it. Like that's like, I don't know if that was supposed to be the pun or not. I feel like he was supposed to be the thing that stands out when he kills the guy with the two guns and his the girlfriend. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there was a reason. I can't even remember myself, to be honest.
I'll say standing out is I don't know. I feel like contrary to the aims of assassin, but that's fine.
But he needed it to be filmed, I guess, which is the point. Which is I guess. Oh, actually, no. Pat, did you have any favorite scenes?
Basically, the last sequence, and then sort of obviously they got the job of assassinating the triad guy, and someone else had that same job and beat them to it. So then obviously having to then reenact it, and reenacting it, they ended up killing someone else, and the fact that they both ended up walking out while all the chaos was going on. But that tickled me. That was probably the. I'd say it was quite inventive comedy.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, because it was. I feel like that last ending scene just compiled onto itself, where it's like, oh my god, you just shoot this guy? Oh, and he's got a videotape. And we've got 100 witnesses. Tell me, who just shot the guy? It was him. Yeah, okay. And it's like, and even the ending sequence for that, it was like, it was something like the judge done a world record sentencing of under 1 minute to pronounce the guy guilty. And it was like, yes, fucking applaud. No one could defend him. It's instantly guilty. So that's great.
Oh, you know what else? It was you just jogged the memory where they were like, "What do we do? He's already been shot. How do we do this so that it looks like I shot him?" And I was like, "Do a reshoot. Do a reshoot." And they were like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, "Do a fucking reshoot." And then he was like, "We should do a reshoot." And I was like, "Should have taken that long." Fuck.
I don't remember everything about that last scene. The person that gave them the job in the first place, wasn't he there at the time?
No, he came later because he heard that there was trouble.
Yeah, they call him because they fucked it up. So he comes down and pokes.
Yeah, it just made me laugh where they were doing a reshoot and the bloke was there, and I was like, well, if he's there, then why are you needing to reshoot?
It's to film it and prove it for the other guys in the gang.
Yeah.
And also to have the clout and be like, see, I did it. It's all fine. I can be the actual leader. So screw you. But,
oh no, I'm in jail now. I probably
that-
shouldn't have shown my face and admitted I did it on camera.
I know you guys won't thank me for saying it, but I'd really like to see it as an English or American remake.
Yeah. It could be really funny. Like if you do it really well, kind of like how Hangover, it's got this premise, but the way it's written and done is just really funny. Like if you do it with enough production quality and whatnot and write it would I think it would go really well. Possibly.
It's got some stellar source material.
I mean, yeah.
Commenting on the last scene again, like it was, you could see how it was like gonna play out or how it was building up, and I was just like, these guys, nah, you're an idiot. Why do you want to pretend to be the killer? Because obviously we know the police are coming. It's like, this is not gonna work out well. And then obviously they're just like, you know what, whatever, fine, bye. And then they're just dressed as delivery men, just walking somewhere, or like tired chefs or whatever kind of thing. And yeah, it's just all great and all funny. And that was it. The lady, I felt like I knew what she was going to say, and then she said exactly what I was thinking she was going to say, where she was just like, "Oh, it's him, yeah. I don't recognize the face, but he was wearing that trench coat." It's just like, lady, she was getting slapped around. Of course, she's pissed. She's like, "Nah, I don't care. You're going down. You beat me too much."
Yeah, that's right. Favorite scenes though is definitely, I guess it's a thing about it. I guess it's this, the concept of the comedy was this, because they wasn't sure that this movie was gonna be well received, or make any sort of money. They didn't really make merchandising except for the scene where there was merchandising. Because that was like they finished watching the first film and they had like the opening credits to that film, and I was like, even remembering it, like even when I was watching it when I was younger, I was like, didn't they just like, didn't he just pirate the "Do Not Pirate" logo from another film, right? And I was like, wait, what? That's because that's literally what that told the script, that like script that's rolling up us is like, please do not copy or pirate our movies. It's also that nonsense again. It's like even Bart was like, did you do this? I just stole like bits from other films. Okay. I feel like they wanted to look at the camera and just go, don't do it. Don't pirate this film. But it's like, but after they did the film and all of the people like really enjoyed that first like VHS, they started making more VHSs and they had all the merchandising and this sort of stuff. It kind of reminds me of that like scene from like Spaceballs where they had all the Frogut toys. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. They weren't allowed to actually make toys and sell them because George Lucas said he would have some like he wouldn't give them the blessing to make this film. He wouldn't give them the rights to it. So it's like, all right, yeah, I guess this is the same thing. It's kind of like they made the merchandise, but they're like, are we actually gonna use it for anything? No, just use it for a few shots. Like here we go. Here's the film and here's a T-shirt. Yeah, and it's just like I feel like there weren't any words spoken in that particular set of scenes, but it was like funny because you could just see like the context of what it was trying to do, and I was like, I found that funny as well. That was like one of my favorite scenes as well, and also the ending scene because the ending scene is fucking top notch because everything just happens one after another, and it's a great way to end it. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I get that.
So we agreed that it's not too bad. It wasn't
No.
great. Okay. I thought you were asleep, so I was like, all right, just sneak that in there. Okay. All right. But it's like,
I'm always awake for opinions that aren't mine.
no,
Sorry.
that's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. Like we have evidence that's not true. So anyway, but in any
6
case,
hours worth of evidence.
What?
6 hour, yeah, kind of.
Oh.
Is it 6 hours?
I don't know. Depends if Rob kept it or not, or he
I think-
cut
Yeah,
I
that.
think
no,
it's
the Drive My Car call is like 8 hours long because everyone fell asleep.
You say
Everyone, do you
everyone.
mean just Alex?
I mean, you guys are all asleep as well. You just
Yeah,
weren't
Not
on
on
camera.
camera.
Yeah, we just not on camera. Yeah. Okay, but
And
it
I
was-
haven't done one drunk since, apart from Terminator, which I did do drunk. Well done, me.
Well,
Yeah, it's only
awesome.
been a few calls.
Yeah.
Hey, Matchstick Men, High Fidelity, The Father, Amores Perros, and now that's like 5. That's 5 more than I've ever done. So
I wish I was drunk for half of them.
Oh man.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Ugh. Fucking rough.
Oh,
oh
yeah.
no. Ah, my belly stuck to my leather sofa. Oh
no.
Ah, okay. I did it. Oh,
Oh,
Prefer cloth. Yes.
so
that was
as-
horrible.
as the point I was trying to say, it's like the ending sort of like statement to this is like this film I chose. It didn't matter if it did good or bad. To me, it's like it was fine.
Which
It was
is like,
it was a fine film. It wasn't like the worst film because I feel like I have plenty of other like foreign language films, a couple from Hong Kong that are not comedies, but I don't know if you would enjoy them. I can see that it would be better for me not to do comedy because the jokes fall flat. Instead, just do weird shit. And that's fine because weird shit, I guess people are like, Simon, that shit was weird. 10 out of 10. That's what I'm expecting.
Bad. Any genre done badly is better than bad comedy.
I guess that's true. I guess you could get
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, but like if you just say it's a bad action movie, you can just say it's a comedy and be fine with it.
Yeah, because you can laugh at a bad action.
I think it's subjective because
I think you're
this-
subjective. How about that?
well, you would be correct.
Yes. Oh no.
But it made me think about what's the recent B movie you picked, Rob?
Oh, Dark Star.
Dark Star. It made me think about Dark Star and how I was just like, maybe not at the time, but how I was thinking now. Like, it wasn't too far from like certain comedies I like or different things I like Red Dwarf and different things. But it also wasn't the kind of stuff specifically I like. And even though it's on a low budget, I could see what they were doing and I could get it on an intellectual level. Like, I just wasn't laughing because the jokes were annoying me rather than making me laugh. And I was just like, I technically I get what they're doing, what's happening, and I can understand why this is funny, but I'm not laughing, and this is just kind of annoying me. And by the time the ball scene happens, it's just like how this film, it builds up and builds up and builds up. By the time the ball scene, I was just done. I was just like, I'm not in this film. I'm just the guy's hanging. I just don't care. Why? Yeah, he's hanging and the ball is up. Yeah, whatever. But like technically,
I feel like
great.
you're not giving Dark Star enough credit. To be honest, if you want to say it like that, I feel like
That's a familiar feeling for me, so
Technically they did an amazing amount with the money they had. Like it's the little ways, even the way they kind of shot things, the scene where he's hanging and he's not actually hanging, but he's laying down or something like that. And then the kind of things with the keyboards, like actual ice cube trays and all sorts of these kind of little things. I was just like, they did really well with what they didn't have. And you can see kind of different like where they was pointing the jokes and stuff too. I was just like, yeah, this is one of those cases where I'm just not getting on with it. But I get it, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. But I don't think it's bad comedy. It's just not my comedy. And I think that's the case with this. I don't think it's bad comedy. I think it might just not be your comedy, Alec.
No.
I don't know.
all right, fair enough. All right.
No.
So, talking about funny situations, is John actually back?
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh jeez.
Wait, this is shot like that director.
Which director?
Oh, sorry.
What?
You know Budapest Hotel.
yeah, Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. Basically,
Please don't say it's an AI thing. Please.
oh, how Wes Anderson uses miniatures. Okay.
Okay.
So I didn't realize. Camilla's watching. Oh, she's got in the background anyway. This,
I thought you say I shoot was made by Wes Anderson. I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
Mine just like jumped really far. I was like,
You
wait, what
shoot, I shoot is shot just like Wes Anderson. Just like don't do
yeah,
this.
definitely not. I was
In the sense that some things are in frame. Like, no, stop it.
Okay.
sorry, very off topic. No, it's a Vox kind of short docu style about how Wes Anderson uses miniatures, but I didn't see the title of the video. I just saw the intro, and I was just like, that's just like how he shoots, always against a kind of on a flat plane, and this and that, and the colors. Yeah, Camilla just pointed out. Well, of course, it's about him. It's like, oh, it's Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
So, what the fuck was it? Oh, yeah. Whose film is next? The script for it, because you guys have put it into like the schedule, right? And I was like, oh, is it Rob's film? I was like, oh yeah, if it's Rob's film, I know what. I mean, he gave me a hint of what it is. I can kind of tell. So it's like, oh, is that film next? Yeah, that's what. And then afterwards, you changed it. I was like, oh,
It was supposed to be mine.
okay. So who's is next?
So it's the first film of Goat Round, and it's also the first film of John's triumphant return.
Triumphant Return 2. Do it, Ben.
3. Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah.
You wait until you find out what this film is, though.
What is the film?
Fuck me.
Oh,
No, you
They-
gotta wait. You gotta wait
Wait,
to find it out.
Well, I mean, I might not be able to watch it if you don't tell me now.
Oh no! Oh no!
we'll tell you now. Don't worry.
So John's rationale for Goat Round is that he's picking the greatest video game film of all time.
Oh no.
And
Very worried.
John's pick for the greatest video game film of all time is Street Fighter.
Damn it! I kind of knew it. Oh, shit.
Wait,
Oh my god! Do you mean the Jean-Claude Van Damme one?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, Hey,
Oh.
Alex, you want to talk about like
no.
bad action movies being a comedy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is far worse.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm
feel
ready.
like-
Oh, at least it's not Titanic, so I can't complain.
The best video game movie ever made, Titanic.
I feel
I've been
like
saying that. If John had picked Titanic, it would have been quite apt.
Yeah, it would have been.
yeah. I mean,
The greatest
we
comeback
would
of all
look-
time.
We would look like the worst channel on the planet.
Oh, what
Feel
you
like
doing?
Titanic this week. It's like Jesus fuck. Don't.
It would
I
have
feel
sunk
like-
like that sub.
Whoa!
I don't even know
Yeah,
where I
and
could
we'd
probably
lose
watch
all our
this film.
subs.
What's it like? Is it like it's one of those films I don't actually want to buy, and I
Street
buy all my
Fighter.
films.
I get it on
Where is it
Blu-ray, man. I
playing?
love it.
Where is it playing? That's the very point. If it's,
It's on
like
Amazon.
10 quid.
No,
Street
do I actually
Fighter.
want to buy this film?
Is it just called Street Fighter? What's it called?
This is
The
called Street Fighter.
Street Shiter.
In some,
Whoa!
1994.
That was nearly me.
in some countries, it's called Street Fighter the movie, but I think we just called it Street Fighter.
Yeah, so Amazon, Apple TV, Microsoft Store, Rakuten TV, and the Sky Store.
Really?
So I don't know why you would buy it on the Sky Store.
Oh man, he couldn't have picked like.
The more awkward film. I don't want to buy the DVD.
Are we still recording, Rob?
Yeah, we're still recording. Yeah, do you want me to start?
Yes.